We're uncovering the secret to reverse engineering your success inside of your martial arts business. Hey everybody, my name is Jennifer Waters and I am the Sales and Systems Sensei. I help martial arts school owners through our 7-figure dojo program be able to scale their business towards 7 figures using our systems and a dojo assistant to do it. This video in particular, we are going over and we're covering exactly what you need to do to reverse engineer your success. One of my favorite quotes of all time is to start with the end in mind. So if I think about, I want to start with the end in mind, that means that I have got to make sure that I know what the end goal is. So for example, if we're trying to make 7 figures in a year, that means that I need to bring in a little over $83,500 per month in order to be a 7-figure school. Now that doesn't mean that just by bringing in $83,000+ per month that I'm going to be profitable. It just means that the gross revenue of the business is that high. So how do you then go and ensure that you're actually profiting, you're taking home that money and not just, operating the business at a loss or a break even, that you're doing something else? Well, what we're going to do is I'm going to actually switch over to my iPad, be able to dig in. We're going to just start reverse engineering exactly what we need to do and some of the things that we need to think about whenever we're digging into our business and trying to figure out those numbers. So let's go ahead and take a look. So the first thing is, if I'm trying to discover, okay, I want 100 students, right? I've got to have 100 students. Well, I need to ask myself, why do I want 100 students? Okay, what's the purpose other than a vanity metric of saying that I have 100 students? This is when you start going, okay, what does 100 students get me, right? That's what you really need to think about. Like, what does it get me? And when I say get me, what I mean by this is how much revenue. Okay, so you need to figure out how much revenue is that 100 student mark going to bring you in. Now, the easiest thing to do is to start going, okay, if I charge, so I'm going to say, let's say, we'll just do easy math here. So if I charge $100 per month and I have 100 students, then I would be looking at $10,000 of revenue, right? So I'm already thinking, okay, I'm bringing in 10K of revenue because that's what I want to be able to do, is I want to be able to bring in that 10K. What does it get me? Well, I need to start thinking about my expenses, and we just did another video in the series, so make sure you go check that out. We'll link it up somewhere up above or below in the comments, but we talked about personal finance and we talked about business expenses. So I need to think about my expenses, and I need to think about, what is my bottom line? Okay, if I'm thinking about what my bottom line is, then I can go, okay, this is how much I need to cover all of my expenses. So expenses, right, all of our expenses have to be covered in this bottom line. So that means things like your lights, rent, payroll, if you're paying assistants, like all those things have to be taken care of. And then the question is $10,000 enough? And what I've often found is that a lot of times martial arts school owners will come up with a number of students. When I'm asking them on a demonstration call, figuring out if the 7-figure dojo program is good for them, I'll say, hey, what's your overall goal? And a lot of people will give me a student number and they'll say 200 students, 300 students, or multiple locations. But that's just because it sounds sexy, it sounds cool, it sounds like everything that everybody's already saying in the industry. But what does it actually get you? That's the real thing. Like, does $10,000, is that enough money for you to have personal freedom and for you to have the take-home pay that you want? For example, let's say that you wanted to bring home $150,000 a year of take-home pay, okay? Well, not take-home, because I'm not going to do taxes and all that stuff. But let's just say you wanted $150,000 you wanted to be paid from your business. Well, that means that you would need $12,500 worth of cash to be paid to you. So in this example, is $10,000 enough? No, it's not, because your want is not going to allow that to happen. So just saying that I'm going to get 100 students and I'm going to bring home that type of cash is not going to help you. What if you said, well, what if I just try to double this and I try to say, okay, I'm going to bring in, $20,000 worth. So I'm going to double this. And now I've got 20 grand coming in. Does this actually allow me to do this? The answer to that question is not as simple as it looks. Yes, it does look like that. I would be able to bring that in, but if we take a look at this, it means that all of my break-even expenses would have to be $7,500 only. Now, here's the crazy thing. When you scale, your costs tend to climb as well. So when you scale, your payroll increases in your business. The services you use, your rent might increase because you need a bigger space. So it's not as simple as just saying, I double my number and then all of a sudden I'm bringing home more cash. It doesn't work like that. You really have to start thinking about strategically, how do I go about and reverse engineer this? So I'm going to show you something that we do pretty easily. It's just this easy formula, okay? So number one, start where you are at your break even. Okay, so you got to figure that out first. What is my break even? Right where I'm at. So the next thing you have to do is set your target. This is how much cash that you want to get out of this business adventure of yours, right? I have my target. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on the reverse engineer. Okay, so what that means is now I'm going, all right, the first thing that I'm doing is I'm looking at, let's see here, I'm looking at my bottom line. Recurring revenue. Okay, so what this means is, what's my tuition look like? The second thing I'm doing is I'm going, how much cash can I generate from new students this coming month? This is new business coming in the door, like down payments, prepays, anything like that. I'm looking at that. The next thing that I'm doing here is I'm also looking at making sure that I am focused on my upgrades. Okay, and then the final two things that I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at retail and I'm going to look at events. Okay, so reverse engineering, what's my recurring revenue? Boom. What's my new student numbers look like? What's my upgrades look like? What do my retail numbers look like? And what do my events? And then what is that total right there? How much cash does that generate me? And once I say, okay, maybe that generates me, $8,000 and my goal, my break even is $10,000. Well, I'm in the hole $2,000. So how am I going to get that extra $2,000? That's when you can really start planning. You need to go, okay, well, we're going to run a special and we're going to get $500 more retail. And then we're going to get a special going on for upgrades. We're going to incentivize our people. We're going to start an upgrade program and we're going to get additional cash that way. This is how you reverse engineer so you can actually every single month hit your goals and make sure you can take that negative number. And instead of having negative number, you go, okay, this now generates me $12,000. And my break even is $10,000, so that means I profited $2,000 for the month, right? So that's what you want to eventually be able to get to. And then you just take this and you repeat this exercise over and over and over again until you've got it down. And that, my friends, is the ultimate way in which to make sure that you're achieving your goals and achieving your dreams by reverse engineering exactly where you want to go. Listen, if you need help with any of this at all, you're like, gosh, that was a lot of information and I really need a mentor for this. That's what we're here for inside the 7-Figure Dojo program. So make sure you go to 7figuredojo.com, check out the training we have there. And until next time, keep being awesome. See you guys.